Luis joins us in Switzerland, are you?
Yes, Regan, how are you?
I'm good, my friend.
Good to see you
Whereabouts are
again.
you? Where in Switzerland are you?
I am in a village called Stein am Rhein. It's very close to the river with the German part, and it's just at the edge of the Bodensee of Lake Constance.
Wow, sounds beautiful.
It's a beautiful area, yes. It's just a little bit chilly at the moment.
Here too. When did you get there then? When did you arrive in Switzerland?
I've been living here for almost 2 years.
Right. So similar to me with the COVID, with the pandemic, in one place.
Yeah, the pandemic has been terrible. Like I've been kind of like stuck here for the last year. Like I've been traveling a little bit within Europe, and went locally a couple of times to Brazil. But now, like, I had to be in Brazil 2 weeks ago, and I had to cancel because of the travel restrictions and COVID and all that. So
normally,
it's a little bit of a crazy life of the traveler.
It's crazy, isn't it? Everybody's in this uncharted territory, in one place, not doing the travel we normally do. But it's different because we would never get to do what we're doing now in normal life. We were just saying with each other, doing different things at home, which you can't do when you're traveling.
Yeah, one of the things that when people ask me about this, if I go to an event and how am I coping, and I say that I see this as a gift of time, which I didn't have at the moment. Like I've been spending a lot of time with my boy, growing a garden on the summer, and repairing the house and painting and cooking a lot and working out. My body feels better than ever. So it's been kind of like trying to make lemonade with lemons, no?
Because normally full-time skydiving, wind tunnel instructing, coaching, events, load organizing, big ways, and surfing as well. You've been busy for many, many years without really a break at all, eh?
Yeah, no, I mean, like my break it was never a break.
Yeah.
Like the only time where I was really not doing something was when I was with the family, and I was doing something because I was like having a child and doing the house and doing the housework. So yeah, it's interesting to kind of like learn how to calm yourself down from that hectic life.
Yeah. So let's catch up a little bit with what you would normally do. You'd be in Ampurias Brava in Spain, one of the biggest drop zones in Europe, one of the biggest ones in the world. What would you normally be doing there right now if it wasn't for all this?
I mean, like for now, I would be coaching one-on-one. I have a list of students that they're waiting for Ampurias to open to go there and be jumping and doing some wind tunnel as well. And I would be kind of like living in between Switzerland and Spain, going back and forth. I would have gone for 2 weeks to the USA at the end of March for the flight camp, so Fly for Life. But the US is not allowing Europeans without 14-day quarantine or 14-day outside of Schengen. So I had to cancel that event today. So I had to call Luis and say like, okay, sorry man, but they don't allow me. I asked for a permission, for a special permit for an athlete to go and do this, but they didn't accept it. So I'm stuck here.
Yeah, it's hard times for a lot of people in all sorts of aviation. People's income has just been slashed and reduced to almost nothing.
If you work in events, you're stopped. You're back to zero, basically. Like, I mean, whatever kind of event, it doesn't matter if it's skydiving, if it's a gathering, if it's a poker thing, if it's a dart thing, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like even pavilions, there's a lot of all these companies that are making all this infrastructure and like this expo and that expo, and everything is canceled. Like everything is like, So I mean, like lucky to be alive and with a roof and food on the table.
Yes, it is back to basics like that, isn't it?
But it's actually quite nice. I mean, I think I'm gonna enjoy a lot once I start traveling again because I am ready. Like I
Yeah, people used to say to me all the time, don't you get sick of all this traveling 80, 90 flights a year? Or I love it. I just love going to the airport. I love getting on planes.
yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, I understand totally. Me too. Like, I mean, like there's always like the hassle sometimes of the travel, like you get a flight delay or a flight cancel, or, like you miss a connection or this, and then they don't pick you up or you get to this place. But that makes it part of the traveling. I like you say, I love going to the airport, getting flights, sitting around, watching people pass by and see like, oh, I wonder what they're up to.
The worst thing that happened to me before this, the worst thing that ever happened was the driver being late. When you get to the other end, you wait till you've got all your bags and there's somebody going to pick you up who's taking you to whatever it is you're going to do. And they're 10 minutes late and you're thinking, this is what's wrong with my life. Stood here waiting for that. Wow, how things change, eh?
Yeah, how things change, exactly. Like now, but that's the thing, no? Like maybe we will appreciate a lot of, I mean, like what I've learned the most, I think, is that I don't need so much to be happy.
Yeah.
That I can have not so much and still be content with what I'm doing. So I think like even when crazy life resumes, because eventually it will resume, I'm gonna have a little bit of a different aspect of what I'm gonna be seeing. Like you say, these little details are like, remember in Corona, I mean, like, yes. That's like nothing.
Yeah. So how long were you in this lifestyle, this busy, hectic, full-time jumping, flying in Spain, in Ampura Brava? I think, did you leave there for a little while, then come back? I'm trying to picture it in my mind, your time schedule.
Like I lived in Ampura for a couple of years in the 2001 to 2003, or no, 2002 to 2004. And then I moved to Venezuela to help run a drop zone operation that we constructed from zero. And I was there for 4 years. We did a national team there, and we trained and we run the drop zone, and it was an Antonov 28 at the beach. It was like very nice, but the political situation of Venezuela was getting really unstable and hectic, and that's when we decided, me and my family, to come back to Europe. And that's when we came back to Ampura Brava, and I was there for 10 years before I moved to Switzerland.
Yes. Also, you've actually moved. You've moved yourself to Switzerland now. You're not just there because of the pandemic. You've actually based yourself.
Yeah. My son is going to school here. Vivian has a job, and I'm full time now with the pandemic. But before I was like the same from Ampura, like, because I need to book time off instead of booking events and stuff. I have to see my plan and say like, okay, this week I can't do anything because it's family time. Because if not, I'll be on the road the whole month.
Yes.
So basically, what I did that in Ampura, I'm doing that in Switzerland. No? Instead of being in the house in Ampura, I'm in the house here in Switzerland.
Beautiful. What a great place. I've been to Switzerland for different jobs over the last couple of years, maybe 7 or 8 times. Absolutely love it. Not cheap though. You're in Switzerland when it's $30 for a pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite a big shock from me coming from Spain, because Spain is very accessible in that matter. My salary was really good in Spain. It's here like people look at me like, oh, poor thing.
So take me back now to Venezuela, Luis.
It's okay.
Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Yeah, we still got you.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought we cut out a little bit. Take me back all the way now to Venezuela, how it started for you, because you already had a career, a career in the office world, didn't you? A real life before you got into join the circus like all this lot.
Yeah, I mean, like before I skydive, I used to study law at night, and I worked in the Supreme Court of Justice in the penal department during the day for 4.5 years. So I had like a proper, I had to wear a tie, a briefcase, I had my own office, and work all day and then go and study at night. And then one day a Friday night, one of my friends, that it's the best friend of my brother, called to the house, and I pick up the phone and we were chatting. What are you up to? What are you doing? And he's like, I have 14 jumps in parachute. I'm like, what? Like, I picture myself like a round thing, like jumping low, whatever. And he's like, no, it's super good. We're going tomorrow if you want to join us, just to see. And I said, like, yeah, why not? I have nothing to do. So they picked me up and I went there. I must say that this is very awkward because I suffer from a very high fear of vertigo. You know, like I if I see from a balcony down, I panic.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Like, panic, like bad. So I was like, okay, no way I'm going to jump. Like, and I saw them gear up, get into this little Cessna, and they did a hop and pop because it was cloudy.
Yeah.
And I could see them just jumping and opening and landing. And I was like, okay, where is the next course starting? I'm going to start. So that day I did my AFF.
Really?
Not AFF because it's assisted.
Okay.
You just hang yourself from the wing of the plane,
Yeah.
and the instructor have the pilot chute. So you jump and he lets go the pilot chute. So,
Right.
and that day I did the course and then did my first jump.
On the same day?
On the same day, but I almost didn't jump because I was in the plane and 3 times I say no, because the procedure is like, okay, are you ready to jump?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And they're like, what do you mean no? I'm like, no, I'm not jumping. Like,
Yeah.
That's it. Take me down. And they convinced me to jump, and since then I've been jumping nonstop.
What did you think? Can you remember what you thought when the parachute was open on that first one, when you were suddenly hanging in the sky?
I don't remember that, but I remember the moment that I let go of the bar.
Right.
And I had that few seconds of free fall. I still remember, I thought to myself, like, this is the best thing that I have ever done. Like, exactly that thing, I was talking to myself in third person, like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. Yeah. So that's what I remember. Then after being with the parachute, I think I was in panic, or I don't have so much recollection of what happened in my first jump. But that moment when I let go, it's just still so vivid after 21 years.
Like nothing else, eh?
Like nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. And did you get to do another one that day, or did you have to go back?
No, it was the sunset load.
Right.
But the next day, it was Mother's Day. And I said to my mom, hey, Mom, I'm sorry, but I need to go and do this again. I need to understand what just I did. It's like a happy day. Okay, I'm leaving. Yeah. And I left, and she's like very happy. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm happy you did a jump. It's amazing. So I went and did the second jump. And then I said, like, okay, I was in complete panic. But then after the jump, I was so feeling so good that I carry on through the course and became a skydiver.
When did you realize that it could be your life, that it could be work, that you could make a living, you didn't have to be in the office anymore? When did that become a reality for you?
Okay, so basically after 1 year, like I broke the record of how many jumps you could do in my drop zone.
Yeah.
Like I did 320 jumps in 1 year. That was unheard of.
Yeah.
You know, like I was every weekend bribing the manifest, giving chocolates, flowers, stuff. Like I was jumping on every load that I could. And then I was under the, let's say, not a very good, how do you say, like my coaching, my instructor was not very experienced, and he got me to down south really quick. And I broke my femur doing a 180 turn.
Right.
Because I didn't know what I was doing. And he was just like, yeah, you have feeling, just go for it and you will see it. And I didn't see it, and I almost killed myself. So I was, for 1 year, stopped skydiving. Like I was in bed, I was not working. I had 2 surgeries on my femur. It was a really tough time mentally. I was in a big depression. I wanted to skydive a lot, and I wanted to keep playing rugby. And I knew that I didn't want to carry on with my career, kind of like, but then I was not sure what I want to do with my life. So I decided to take a sabbatical.
Yeah.
So I said, like, at the moment that I left my crutches, I moved to Florida, to West Palm Beach, Skydive America, where Olaf Sipser School was there, and Stefania Martinego, Ipo, Mike Swanson, Brooke Nelson. So the videos that I was watching, I was like, okay, where is these guys where are they? They are in these little drop zones. I'd never heard of it, never been there. I just got my bags and went there, got there, bought 200 tickets and say like, I'm staying here indefinitely.
Fantastic.
So, but I was not thinking about having a career. I was just thinking like, okay, I'm going to take this sabbatical, get back my head game and see what I'm going to do with my life. And then kind of like, because I was jumping a lot because I had tickets, and then they started like, can you do a tandem video, and can you do this? And then I started seeing like, look, if I do tandem videos, I get money and I can jump.
Yeah.
And then like, if I do this, okay. Like, so I started kind of like doing it. And I must say that Larry Kirschenbaum, the DCO, is a very generous man. And he helped me a lot to jump. So he was giving me like free slots and saying like, okay, gather people and kind of like load organize, but more than load organize is like bring them to the plane, make them jump.
Right.
No, like it was not load organizing was for me was not like we do now.
Yes.
You get a group and you organize everything. It was just like, guys, let's the load is empty, let's go.
Right.
And then go and jump and do whatever. No, so I got my first share of jumping in there thanks to him.
What years is this, Luis? What years are we talking about?
We're talking about 2001.
Yeah.
No, 2002 to 2003. No, 2001. Yes, 2001. And so I went back to Venezuela to renew my visa, and they denied it. The lady there, she's like, no, I don't like you. You're not getting a visa. That's it. And I had my car, my clothes, and everything in Florida.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
And I called Alejandro Ramos and Nipo, and I said like, hey guys, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we're in Puya Brava. This place is the bomb, man. You gotta check it out. This is even better than Florida. Like, come to Europe. So okay, like a week later, I was like, okay, here we are, Barcelona. Okay, yes, Ampuria. Wow, look at this place. And then I got to meet the Babylon guys.
Yeah.
Like I arrived there, and then Ipo and Alejandro introduced me to the boys because I've been jumping along with them already, and we were good friends, and they were already working in partnership with Babylon. And then when I saw the type of flying they were doing, I was like, okay, I'm not going back to the US. I need to learn this. Okay, enough of the vertical, whatever.
Yeah.
This angle flying, this tracing, this is what I want to do. And that's how it kind of like got involved with the Babylon. Then after a year and a half being in Ampuria, I got a phone call from Venezuela, from my ex-teammate that we were living together in Florida. And he said that he has a partner that had very small experience, but had the resources to start a drop zone. Right. If I would be willing to make a team with him and train him to become like a good competitive team and run a drop zone in Venezuela. So I said yes, of course. Go back to the motherland, and for 4 years we run Skydive Venezuela in Higuerote. And that's after what we said in the beginning, after having that social and political situation starting to be worse and worse and worse, and through time we decided that we're going to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
And then when we got back to Ampuria, that's when I really went inside the Babylon team. So I was doing camera work and AFF.
Yes.
And I was doing the free flying, but the free flying was not kind of like a career. It was still, I could have not lived from only free flying or organizing, or I was not known enough, or the events were not there was not so much happening for me to live from that. So I was doing a lot of tandem videos and a lot of IFFs as we worked together a lot,
yes.
Like in the drop zone for many years. And then slowly started building up, like I started doing more events, and the more events I did, the more the word spreads that people kind of like relate to the kind of work you do and you want to offer, and then they call you more. And then before I knew it, I had to choose between traveling or doing just tandem videos.
Yes.
There was no middle ground that I could work. So I talked with Mike Burden, which by the way, is being the most amazing boss I ever had in my skydiving life or career or whatever. Like, what an amazing boss he was, and he was very understanding. But at one point, I understand him. He needed someone to be there because I was always gone.
Yes.
So, and it was very comfortable for me, because I came and worked a lot and then went out and worked a lot. And then I knew eventually I was gonna be told, but I said nothing until the moment came, and I had to take the decision of let go that rope and go fully for the event organizing, and I've been doing that since then. I think like for the last 6 years, 7 years, like full on.
Yes, and it really has been full on for you, hasn't it? With a big head-up record. 2019, was it the head-up record? You were part of that, and lots of different movies and events. It really has.
Yes, like because we were the things like yes, I am part of the organizer team for the world record of head-up, and I'm the organizer of the Europeans free fly records, head down and head up.
Yeah.
So it's one year head up, 1 year head down, or world record, and then European record. So it's always kind of like it's being kind of like 1 year one, 1 year the other one. So we always kind of like run camps for those events to prepare people and to make the selection, because we also do the selection for the world records and the European records. And then also with the events of fun jumpers that want to do skill camps and all that, then yes, it's being pedal to the metal, full on road warrior.
And so the Fly Warriors team, that's still a big part of what you do as well?
Yes, I mean, obviously this year last year we could not do all the things that we wanted to do, but yes, I mean, like I'm very lucky that I have such a good set of people to work with, so experienced in all different areas. So we all kind of like alpha dogs, but somehow kind of like manage to coexist and respect each other, and say like no when it needs to be no, and yes when it needs to be yes. So I'm very happy to have David Nemo, Raf Kudre, Danny Gallego, and myself as teammates. So yeah, and then the Warriors is more of a school like based on Empuria. So Raf and Nemo are based there, and I'm kind of like the road representative. Like I go and do the events and then do coaching, and Raf does mainly tandem and AFF. That's his main work. He's very happy to do that live for the drop zone. No stress, no need to travel, and everyone is kind of like happy with what they do.
Yeah, it's a good system. It's really working for you guys now, isn't it? So
yeah, I think so.
So for you now, Luis, what do you see for the next, for the rest of the spring and the start of the summer? It's so difficult to plan. It's so difficult to plan, to be anywhere. Like you said, you should have been in, was it Brazil you should have been in now?
I should have been coming back from Brazil 4 days ago, which I didn't go. And I should be leaving in 2 weeks to Florida, which I'm not going. But like what we're doing, or when people contact me, is like we're booking things,
right?
And we're keeping flexible.
Yeah.
So we say like, okay, we book these days, and then if due to COVID restrictions, the organizer needs to cancel the event, or I am not allowed to go there, then we don't require penalties from each other.
Yes.
So we kind of like, everyone is kind of like understanding a little bit that it's a crazy situation, but we need to plan because it might open up or not, or I might go or not go, but we're still booking. Like I still have my booking for the year.
Yeah.
Not as busy as I had last year.
Yeah.
Last year would have been the busiest year of my life. Like 2020 was fully booked by August 2019. Like I did not have a single weekend, or like if you wanted to meet for an event on 2020, I would say like, sorry, I put you on a waiting list. If something else cancels, I can give you that date. But if not, the other time that I have free is for my family.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now. We're keeping flexible.
Yes. I was looking back on my calendar this time last year up till January, February, March, full. And then the beginning of
Sorry, I lost you.
March, just all stopped in the middle of March. Just nothing after that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Where were you when it stopped?
Well, I'd been in Poland. We were doing some reporting there on a ballooning event, and I got back to Dubai. I was meant to have another 5 or 6 weeks in Dubai before starting my summer travels. And it was the 12th of March, and all the COVID news was coming. And I suddenly went cold and realized that if I'm not careful, I'm going to get stuck in Dubai for the summer, because I could see all the airports shutting down everywhere. And I thought, I need to think about my plan here. What am I going to do? So I don't want to be stuck here in the summertime with no work and 50 degrees Celsius. And so then I thought, well, the only option is I'm going to have to go. It's just when I go. And I was thinking about what day it was and what I had coming up in the next few days. I had a few things lined up. And I thought the only way to do it is to go now. And so I got on Delta and I booked a flight 4 hours later, not even knowing if I was going to get through the system and find my way here into Canada, because everything was being shut and turned away. And I got here and I got into Canada, and 2 days later they shut the border.
Wow.
So right move at the right
Lucky.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in LA. We were doing the fly.
Yeah.
And we just got there, and I was already like in the airport here. There was this vibe when I traveled there, like it was beginning of March, starting to go like what things are getting hectic, and we get there and we started jumping, and then by Wednesday of that week, news started coming back, like, okay, this is getting serious. And then I landed from Sunset, and Luis Prineto came running to me and it's like, man, all flights from Europe are canceled. No one from Europe can come from tomorrow. And his girlfriend was supposed to be on that flight the next day.
Yeah. And
she could not fly. So it was crazy. And I'm like, okay, guys, this is serious. I mean, like, the Europeans are not allowed in the US. I mean, like, before we were like, this COVID, like it's all a hoax or whatever. And then at that moment, I got like a shivering from my back, like I was like, oh, something here that is really need to pay attention. But no one there cared. I was like, looked like a paranoid psycho. Like, relax, Luis, you're too stressed, like you're always overthinking things. I'm like, no, guys, like this is like not a cool thing. I mean, like this is hectic. Yeah. Europe is canceled. You're like, no, it's okay, So by Friday, I say, guys, this is crazy. Your rumors in Europe is like everything is shutting down. Airports are shutting down. Flights are canceling. I look at my flight, got canceled. Disappeared, my booking.
No.
I was like, Swiss. I'm like, I go online. My flight does not exist. Try to call. Yeah, right. No answer for sure. And I'm like, okay, no flight. No one takes the phone. 8 hours at the phone, trying to call Swiss airline to see nothing. All flights from Swiss were canceled from LA, only flying from Newark and Chicago. And I'm like, okay, fuck. So I gotta go to Chicago. Friday night, I said to the organizers, like, man, sorry, man, but next week I'm not gonna be here. I'm leaving back to Europe. You need to tell people that you need to cancel the event and that everyone needs to start migrating wherever they want to be locked down, because we will be shut down somewhere. And they're like, no, man, it's okay. And I'm like, okay, guys, I am really sorry, but I'm leaving. So I took a ride to LA, and I got a flight. It took me 5 days to get back to Europe. And when I was in LA trying to get my flights and all this, I get in the group organizers WhatsApp group there, guys. Are like, we're going on a road trip to Arizona because it's bad weather here. And I'm like, guys, no, no, that's not the way. So there was a few students from the camp that they came to me and said, like, look, you look like a responsible person, or mainly sanely, or make sense of what you're saying. What do you think? I said, ladies, whatever you want to be locked down for the next 3 months, go there now. Because once you're there, no one's going to move. Like, I guarantee you in 2 weeks, no one's moving. They're like, you think it's that serious? I'm like, I don't think, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
going to go like this. And they afterwards, they send me messages like, we're so thankful. Did you give us the right? No, because all the other organizers were like, no, do this. Only Pineto and me were like, okay, we're out of here.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff, isn't it? It's, you know, for the rest of our life, we'll have these stories and we'll be telling people. People won't even believe.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, exactly. So it's a good experience. I mean, like, I better not to have it, but it also, on the bright side of the story, there is being a change in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look at the ozone layer. In 1 month, it was that hole that was like in the 80s saying that it's going to kill us all disappeared. You know, like it regenerated the atmosphere, the animals. How many animals were never being seen, and then suddenly, because we were not traveling that much or moving that much, and suddenly, so there's a big thing going that we need to understand, that we cannot just go and keep doing these things because something bad is going to happen like this. Now it's not so bad because, okay, it is bad, but the death ratio is very small compared to like catastrophic proportions. You know, it's just more like people getting sick, very sick, but like, it's not Ebola that if you get it, you're basically dead.
Yeah.
You know, the chances of you surviving are very high.
Well, let's hope that people do press reset and we do try and look after ourselves and the planet a little bit more as we move forward into the future. But Luis, it's been great to catch up with you, my friend. I think we're kind of out of time. Yeah, that's good, 35 minutes. It's been a brilliant chat. Good to see your face. And,
thank you very much. It's been awesome seeing you again and having this chat. I hope that
hope to see you somewhere on the road, jumping or reporting on something, hopefully.
Yeah, man, hopefully, man. Enjoy Canada. Yeah. Enjoy this time.
Yes,
because once this is over, we're going to go pedal for the metal.
We need to get the money back.
Yes, exactly.
Lots of love to the family, my friend.
Okay, bro.
You
take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.